He was born into a family of farmers and fishermen. Today, he collaborates with Hollywood's best directors and stars. He's a Hollywood star himself and sees his mission as bridging the East and the West. Hiroyuki Sanada is a Japanese actor and martial artist, but these are not his only talents. What other talents has he mastered to perform his role in movies? How did he almost injure Tom Cruise? Though he should have, right? Why does he miss his homeland, and what does he grow in his kitchen? We'll tell you all about this and more in this video.
しからば早々に片をつけ、帰るとしよう。
Hiroyuki Sanada, Return of the Japanese Samurai. Hiroyuki Sanada was born on October 12, 1960. His family name was Shimozawa. His father's family were farmers, his mother's family were fishermen, and they lived in the Shinagawa area of Tokyo. Our hero's parents followed Japanese traditions and rituals and taught them their two sons. Therefore, Hiroyuki respects his native culture and strives to share it with the West. Actor Kokichi Takara lived in the same house as the Shimozawa family, and 4-year-old Hiroyuki was friends with his sons. Thanks to this friendship, talent scouts found the boy, and he first became a model in a children's magazine. At 5, he joined the Himawari theater group for children. A few months before his 6th birthday, the boy made his debut in cinema. He played one of the lead roles in the crime film Game of Chance, portraying the son of the legendary Japanese actor Sonny Chiba's character. Later, 2 more parts of the story were released, Game of Chance 2 and Game of Chance 3 Lullaby for My Son. Hiroyuki preferred working on a movie set much more than studying at school. He loved the hustle and bustle of it, and his senior colleague became something of a mentor to him. Later, the actor said that he learned a lot from Sonny, and it was not only acting techniques but also behavior on the set. In his life, Hiroyuki was lucky to have great masters from whom he picked up the baton, and Chiba was one of them. We'll talk more about that later. His father was against his acting career, and his mother also did not take film projects seriously. Unfortunately, the head of the family passed away early, and the woman did not have the strength to resist. She worked as a hairdresser and raised the children alone. From the age of 8, the boy played baseball, danced, and rode horses. The hero of our video grew up watching Bruce Lee and Steve McQueen's films, as well as Hong Kong action films. Wanting to be like his idols and feel stronger, he started practicing karate. At the age of 11, he began training at the club for beginner actors and martial arts stuntmen called Japan Action Club, or JAC, led by Sonny Chiba. In 1974, Hiroyuki, along with his mentor, appeared in the action film The Executioner. But then he followed Sonny's advice and focused on his studies. It was only in 1978 that he returned to acting and appeared in the action drama film Shogun Samurai. It was then that the young man adopted the stage name Sanada and began mastering new martial arts styles at Chiba School. In the following years, Hiroyuki appeared in the action films G.I. Samurai, Shogun's Ninja, Samurai Reincarnation, and others. At the same time, he studied at Nihon University, where he received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Film Science in 1982. In the early 1980s, he mainly worked in Japan, appearing in films like Roaring Fire, Ninja Wars, and Legend of the Eight Samurai, showcasing his martial arts skills. Since childhood, Sanada loved it when heroes performed difficult stunts without stunt doubles, so from the very beginning of his career, he earned a reputation as a master of Eastern cinema who didn't need stunt doubles or stand-ins. At that time, he also attracted the attention of Hong Kong filmmakers and was invited to a joint Japanese and Hong Kong comedy action film Ninja in the Dragon's Den in 1982. In 1986, he played one of the lead roles in the action drama film Royal Warriors.
本当に警察の仕事辞めたの？
ああ、もうチケットも買ってある。明日中には日本に帰れる。
His partner was Michelle Yeoh, and since then, they have often met at parties and other social events. Hiroyuki even attended Michelle's first wedding in the late 1980s, where he met his idols Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung. When filming in Hong Kong, Sanada often attended premieres of movies in which he starred. He carefully watched the audience's reaction, analyzed his performance, and noted mistakes and errors. The enthusiastic cheers for successful moments inspired the actor to do new feats on the set. After each gasp from the audience, he saw that stunts performed without a stunt double look much more impressive, so the risk was justified. In 1989, Hiroyuki's mother died of a stroke, so the actor immersed himself in work. He felt confined in the role of a movie fighter, so he left Sonny Chiba's school and founded his own. He called it the Libra International in honor of his zodiac sign, Libra. In 1990, Sanada married famous Japanese actress and former model Satomi Tezuka. Their marriage lasted 7 years, and the couple had 2 sons, Shono and Hirato. After the divorce, the children stayed with their mother, and as they grew up, they also began to build their acting careers. Meanwhile, Hiroyuki earned a reputation as a playboy. Wow! The media wrote about his affairs with actress Ryona Hazuki, Kyoko Suzuki, and Yuki Amami. All 3 were younger than our hero, it goes without saying. However, there is no photographic evidence of these romances. Meanwhile, Hiroyuki, who had become popular in Asian countries as a martial artist, decided to expand his acting repertoire. In the 90s, he starred in the crime drama with romantic elements High School Teacher, the historical drama Shoraku, the horror film Spiral, and the detective movie Murder on D Street. But the most globally popular works of that period were the 2 parts of the horror film Ring.
じゃあ俺が見終わったらここの電話が鳴るわけだ。
4人死んでるのよ、同じ日に。
だったらお祓いでもすればいい。
In the late 90s and early 2000s, the Japanese actor worked with the Royal Shakespeare Company, performing in their international production of King Lear. After that, Queen Elizabeth II awarded Sanada the title of Honorary Member of the Order of the British Empire in recognition of his efforts to promote British culture in Japan. He played his role in English, a language the actor specifically learned to work in British and American projects. Hiroyuki admitted that performing in a foreign language was difficult for him, but he really wanted to break down the barrier between Western and Eastern cinema. By the way, another language Sanada learned for work is Mandarin Chinese. His versatile language skills allowed him to play various and complex characters throughout his career. In the early 2000s, the famous Japanese actor appeared in the melodrama film First Love, the comedy film Vengeance for Sale, the fantasy horror movie Onmyoji, the Yin Yang Master, and the film The Twilight Samurai, based on a historical novel.
医学界の学問しれば自分の頭でものを考えることができるようになる。
The film received several awards and nominations, including Best Actor at the Montreal International Film Festival for Hiroyuki Sanada. Soon, the actor's career reached a new level. He was invited to play alongside Tom Cruise in the adventure drama The Last Samurai.
刀を下ろせ。下ろせ。
This joint project of the USA, New Zealand, and Japan is an artistic interpretation of the events that occurred in the Land of the Rising Sun in the second half of the 19th century. The role of Yujiro became a ticket into the world of big Western cinema for the Japanese actor. Moreover, he established a trusting relationship with Tom Cruise. Hiroyuki taught the American how to wear a traditional obi belt and properly wield a samurai sword. In one scene involving their characters, Sanada struck Cruise's neck, and the latter trusted his Japanese colleague so much that he didn't even blink before the attack. According to the director's idea, Cruise was supposed to avoid the sword strike using a mechanical prop, but it malfunctioned during one of the takes. However, even in that case, Hiroyuki didn't betray his colleague's trust and stopped the weapon a few inches away from its target. The Last Samurai was the first project in Sanada's long career where he represented Japanese culture in Hollywood. Nevertheless, the actor mentioned that when he left Japan, he didn't expect global recognition. He thought he would work as an extra in TV series and lowest-rate shows, but he somehow immediately landed a popular movie with a Hollywood star. American producers immediately invited Hiroyuki to play in the historical drama The White Countess, released in 2005. Also, he didn't forget about Asian cinema, starring in the fantasy action film The Promise. 2 years later, the sci-fi thriller Sunshine was released, where the Japanese actor played Captain Canada. Initially, this character was meant to be an American, but director Danny Boyle was persuaded to change his nationality to diversify the cast. By the way, in this film, Hiroyuki once again crossed paths with his longtime acquaintance Michelle Yeoh. Soon, Sanada appeared on screen with his other friend Jackie Chan in the crime comedy Rush Hour 3.
Hundreds of years ago, The triers would kill their enemies with 100 cuts to the body. You have just experienced your first cut.
Later, our hero appeared in the sports action comedy film Speed Racer and the romantic drama The City of Your Final Destination. And in the early 2010s, he also played in the series Revenge and Lost.
That's why you tried to poison me.
Yes. I think it would be best if you were dead.
In the latter, Sanada appeared in 5 episodes of Season 6. Since he joined an internationally renowned project, the actor was terribly nervous before the first day of shooting. He had watched all the previous episodes and by the start of filming had already become a huge fan of the show. However, his anxiety disappeared right on set as his colleagues warmly welcomed him. By the end of 2013, the audience saw Hiroyuki in the British and Australian war drama The Railway Man and the superhero film The Wolverine. He also worked together with Keanu Reeves in the fantasy action film 47 Ronin.
If we fight now, we die. And not just us. Every farmer and villager in Akko will be killed.
Then he appeared in the series Extant, Helix, and The Last Ship, as well as in the detective film Mr. Holmes. After the sci-fi horror film Life and the adventure thriller The Catcher Was a Spy, the premiere of the superhero film Avengers Endgame took place. In fact, in these films, Sanada performed most of his stunts himself. In order to do it in Life, for example, he trained with other actors for 2 weeks, and his colleagues on set were amazed by his skills. The actor admitted that quite often there are no fight scenes in the scripts sent to him, but they suddenly appear a couple of days before filming. In 2018, he appeared in the series Westworld, and 2 years later, he took part in 2 more episodes. In February 2020, the biographical drama Minamata, starring Johnny Depp, was released. Next, Sanada appeared in the fantasy action film Mortal Kombat as Yellow Ninja Scorpion. Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat.
貴様の言葉はわからぬが、これだけはわかる。わしが貴様を切る。
The Japanese actor confessed that he had never played the eponymous game, so he diligently studied his character, his behavior, fighting style, and the weapons he used. Despite his extensive experience in martial arts, Hiroyuki spent many hours rehearsing his movements with the fight choreographer and a team of stunt performers. Soon after that, he appeared in the zombie film Army of the Dead and the action comedy film Bullet Train starring Brad Pitt. By the way, part of the shooting for the latter took place inside train carriages. LED screens displaying images of Japanese landscapes were inserted instead of windows.
Listen, old man.
The only thing you know about an old man, young lady, is that he has survived much more and much worse than you.
Another popular premiere was the action thriller film John Wick Chapter 4, in which Sanada once again worked with Keanu Reeves.
And John, do me a small courtesy. できるだけ多く殺してってくれ。Boss.
In fact, earlier, the actor auditioned for the role of Zero in the 3rd film of the franchise, but the filmmakers preferred Mark Dacascos. However, the character Shimadzu Koji from the 4th part, an old friend of the main character, was specifically written for Hiroyuki. The name of the character was chosen by the actor himself. Shimadzu refers to a large family in his mom's village, and Koji is the name of one of the fight choreographers for John Wick. One of the best scenes in the film is the duel between our hero and Donnie Yen, one of the main stars of Hong Kong action films. Hiroyuki mentioned that they had a great time on set and exchanged high fives between takes. They worked at night, but still the entire film crew came to watch them. While promoting John Wick, Sanada once again emphasized that he wanted to be a bridge between East and West and that it was his mission. By the way, the actor always carefully checks whether the scriptwriters take into account the peculiarities of the Eastern mindset and whether they replace real things with false stereotypes about another culture. In all Western projects, he voluntarily performed this job. You might say he did the work of a producer. Only last year did he officially receive this title in the historical series Shogun. This decision was promoted by the writers and executive producers of the project, Justin Marks and Rachel Kondo, who offered the actor the lead role. Speaking about this special milestone in his career, Sanada admitted that being on the set all day working as a producer was very exhausting. But at the same time, he felt very happy. He enjoyed creating a positive work environment and seeing his young colleagues' performance. As a result, he felt like he had received an extra degree in filmmaking.
お前は何を求めて火の元に来たのじゃ。
He asks what you seek here.
To vanquish our common enemies.
Just like in his other projects, Hiroyuki tried to ensure the authenticity of the samurai drama, which tells the events of the year 1600 in Japan. In 1980, a miniseries with the same name was filmed, and the new version intertwines the story of palace intrigues from the point of view of many Japanese characters. Costume designers, props masters, stunt specialists, and fight coordinators worked carefully under the guidance of our hero to meet the requirements of the most knowledgeable Japanese viewers. According to Sanada, if something on the screen looks unrealistic, viewers can't focus on the plot, and we agree with him. After doing the producing job, Hiroyuki did acting almost effortlessly. After I had prepared everything in the scene, from the props to the other actors, I was so relaxed in front of the camera. I felt freedom, the Japanese actor said. He almost never used a stunt double and performed all the fighting and horse riding scenes himself. Currently, the post-production of the second part of Mortal Kombat is underway. Throughout his career, Hiroyuki twice worked as a voice actor. In 1985, he voiced the anime series The Dagger of Kamui, and in 2015, the animated film Minions. He also participated in many theatrical productions and released several music albums in the 80s and 90s. Some singles were created for the films, TV shows, and plays in which Sanada starred. He also released compilations of soundtracks and pop hits in 2010 and 2011, respectively. So martial arts are not the only talent of the celebrity, which he particularly emphasizes in interviews. "I want to do everything by myself," he says. In his homeland, Hiroyuki Sanada is considered a national treasure. Although he is currently working in America, he still reads scripts from Japan in case he can arrange to participate in some projects. By the way, when he spoke about the differences between working in Japan and the US, he noted the budget. However, the shooting process itself is the same. The actor comes to his native country about once a year on promotional tours for his films. What he misses most is hot springs, onsen, and wearing a light yukata kimono in a traditional Japanese ryokan inn. In every city he visits, Hiroyuki tries to find a place where they serve the best oysters. However, just in case, he doesn't eat them the day before shooting, although he has never had any issues with them. With oysters, Sanada usually drinks wine, and he generally has a glass of it almost every evening. He chooses the color of the wine depending on the mood. Since childhood, the celebrity has loved watching sunsets. After a tough day at work, it's what calms him down and gives him strength. After moving to Los Angeles, Hiroyuki would come to the ocean every day and watch the sunset. Another favorite activity since his youth is fishing. As a boy, he used to fish with his older brother and sometimes dive for clams or lobsters. On weekends, Sanada still goes fishing and cooks the fish himself. He also enjoys driving but prefers to explore new places on foot and tries to take 10,000 steps a day. Walking is good for physical health and allows our hero to clear his mind and find solutions to problems. Sanada reportedly lives in California, but he keeps his home away from the public eye. The actor only mentioned that he has a small garden near the kitchen with herbs like basil and mint, cherry tomatoes, green onions, and jalapenos. He takes care of the plants himself and cooks with them. By the way, the actor notes that he feels very comfortable in California as he is a city boy and from childhood had been accustomed to this lifestyle. Thanks to his martial arts skills, Sanada always appears on screen as a real hero. As for his personal heroes, they are Japanese athletes: baseball player Shohei Ohtani and golfer Hideki Matsuyama. The former is often called the best baseball player, if not in history, then at least of our time, and the latter became the first Japanese to win a major golf championship. Hiroyuki's favorite director is Makoto Wada, and since jazz often plays in his films, Sanada started listening to this genre a lot. For a short period, he even played the double bass. The celebrity actively takes part in charity, supporting various non-profit organizations and initiatives. On screen, he especially enjoys embodying historical figures. He always studies the lives of his characters to bring authenticity to his performance. Thanks to this approach, as well as working with renowned directors, he has earned a reputation as a highly respected actor. However, for some time, the Western public mispronounced his name, giving him pseudonyms like Henry Sanada, Harry Sanada, or Duke Sanada. But Hiroyuki remained true to himself and did not adopt a pseudonym convenient for the public. The actor's net worth is estimated to be between $10 and $12 million. The exact salary is unknown, but presumably he earns around $1 million a year. The media also report that he has a substantial real estate portfolio in Tokyo, Kyoto, and California, but there are no photos of the houses. Sanada has been spotted driving an Audi e-tron. According to some reports, he also owns an Audi A7. We can assume that Hiroyuki also owns one or several Mazda models since he actively promoted this car brand. Additionally, the actor was the face of Braun Razors, the Japanese insurance company Nippon Life, and Japanese sake. In recent years, he has also been spotted in ads for the Ayataka tea. Having achieved much on the international level, Sanada does not rest on his laurels and continues to improve his skills. He has gone beyond the role of an action star and become a versatile actor. While performing the hardest stunts, the actor doesn't forget about emotions and is capable of conveying even the most complex ones in a way that the audience believes him.
Farewell, Tento Mushi.
Do you follow Hiroyuki Sanada's work?